showcasing the exciting and successful work of the Water Youth Network and in ADB. I think this collaboration is an exciting pathway for youth and the bank to work together to achieve some fantastic development work in the water sector. So, like Shruti said, I'm going to speak about youth and environmental sustainability today. And I'll give you a brief insight into how the Youth for Asia team are working in this area, and indeed how youth in Asia and the Pacific are working in this area. So, to start, I've included a quote from Ban Ki-moon, the UN's Secretary General, and I find this quote pretty significant because it states that we're the last generation to address global warming before it's too late. So for me, thinking as a youth, we really are the generation that need to take an action today. So our environment, our livelihoods, and our communities are safe, resilient, inclusive and sustainable for the generations of tomorrow. So first of all, I wanted to give you some facts about youth, which highlight them as a key stakeholder for environmental sustainability. So currently there's 1 billion youth in Asia and the Pacific, and 60% of the world's youth live in this region. It's also important to point out 90% of the youth that live in this region live in developing countries. Youth constitute as the majority in population in many of these countries, and therefore are key stakeholders, and it's very important to increase their strong social and environmental awareness to achieve environmental sustainability. Climate change also potentially represents a major health threat and a threat to the socio-economic stability of youth. And this is particularly in developing countries where I said 90% of Asia's youth actually live. The UNEP had a study in 2011 where they wanted to get youth perspectives on how they could address climate change. And 84% of the people who took part, the young people in that study, agreed that they needed more information to prevent climate change. So this highlights that youth are not only affected by it, but they really need to learn more, they need to be part of the solution, so that we can have inclusive and sustainable environmental sustainability. So I'd like to move on to the 3 objectives of this presentation. So this is to highlight how Asian youth are particularly affected, also how ADB work in the key areas of environmental sustainability, and then how youth can contribute to this, this very pressing issue. So this is a general summary of what young people can do. And as you can see, there's a number of different things there. What I'm going to do in my next slides is go through ADB's Environmental Sustainability Operational Plan to show some specific examples and challenges that youth face and how they can get involved. So these are the 4 key environmental operational directions. We have promoting a shift to sustainable infrastructure. We have investing in natural capital. We have strengthening environmental governance and management capacity. And we also have responding to the climate change imperative. 2 years ago, at this very same forum, the second Asian Youth Forum, the ADB Youth for Asia team engaged with a number of youth to work out a roadmap on how youth could be involved or contribute to each one of these 4 focus areas. And this is the basis for the next parts of my slides. So the first one is sustainable infrastructure. So developing sustainable infrastructure is instrumental in the promotion of sustainable development in the region. Youth, when empowered, play a critical role in supporting appropriate infrastructure interventions, and to address the objective to increase collaborations of youth with government, private sector, and academia, you have to raise awareness of relevant information on sustainable infrastructure, youth projects and partnerships, opportunities in Asia and the Pacific. We believe that youth can be involved by conducting mentorship and capacity building programs and events for young youth leaders in Asia and the Pacific to connect them with institutions and implement and mainstream sustainable infrastructure projects. We also believe that youth can encourage governments, private institutions, and academia to engage youth in the planning, research and design, development, marketing, and implementation of innovative infrastructure projects. The second area I'm going to speak about is natural capital. So ensuring the sustainable development of the region requires significant effort being made to preserve Asia and the Pacific's natural capital. It also calls for the involvement of all actors and development agents in the communities. Empowering youth to be leaders in their communities can lead to on-the-ground initiatives that complement national and regional plans to protect national capital. And this is something that ADB is investing in. So the objective here is to increase knowledge and capacity of youth leaders to lead their communities to natural capital management. So we believe that activities for youth to be engaged are to organize youth leadership events and workshops in which we will share youth initiatives, best practice models, and experiences from the region. We also believe that youth can encourage governments, private institutions, and academia to be represented in planning and implementation of natural capital investments and programs. Of all the demographics, the youth have the closest ties with local communities and are in the best position to inform and mobilize these communities in regards to environmental sustainability. We believe the objective here is to improve access and to enable youth to participate in the planning and implementation of policies and frameworks which support inclusive, sustainable environmental policies. So we believe that we could harness youth's energy, passion, and creativity to create community-level environmental youth councils that gather youth together to propose solutions to their local governments. And just now we're actually seeing this across a number of regional departments in Southeast Asia, as well as in South Asia. So it's something that's growing, and youth are being more and more involved in this key area. We also believe that if youth can involve government and local institutions through local community-based volunteer actions, that we can promote better collaboration and direct actions that lead to environmental sustainability. So some of the youth representatives here actually come from some organizations which are doing just that. So we have some representatives from Plan International, we have VSO, and we have Isaac, which are all carrying out their own community-based, youth-led work in environmental sustainability. So the last area is the role of youth in responding to climate change. So this has been underlined several times, and it's something that we constantly feel that we will speak about in ADB and across Asia and the Pacific. In countries massively susceptible to the effects of climate change, such as the Philippines, there has to be increased awareness and knowledge of young people on climate change. And this will enable them to take action and support climate-resilient communities and cities. So we believe if youth can be involved in activities to encourage greater youth participation in knowledge-sharing events, and if we can get youth to be involved in promoting advocacy for climate change adaptation, and engage youth in community-based volunteer programs on community-based adaptation, we believe that youth can be a successful and very valuable development partner. So my role here at ADB is a youth project designer. So what I do is try to research ways in which youth can be integrated in ADB projects as valuable development partners. And to do this, we've found success in research, events, campaigns, and particularly operations. So I wanted to just focus on two current projects that we are in consultations with being involved in. And these are the Mainstreaming Climate Resilience into Development Planning project in Cambodia. So ADB's principal climate change specialist, Dr. Srini Ancha, is a strong advocate for youth involvement in environmental sustainability. And he wants us to be involved in creating community-based climate change adaptation projects which will support local Cambodian CSOs. So we're partnering with Plan International and Isaac International to bring international youth as well as local Cambodian youth together to work on these community-based adaptation and climate resilience projects. Our main aim here is to build the capacity of Cambodian youth to impact climate change in their communities, and we believe that by empowering local Cambodian youth that the successes of this project will last to the next generations. This can be something that's sustainable, and it's something we really want to focus on. So we're in the process of agreeing to work on the implementation of this project. Another project which Daniele might be very interested in, since he's the project officer, is the scaling up market-based approaches to environmental management. And this is a research and development technical assistance by the bank, which is basically wanting to research innovative solutions to environmental management and green business. So we have offered the opportunity to conduct a solution search in which we look at youth-led environmental sustainability projects and green business across Asia and the Pacific. So we've had this framework or this model replicated in a number of sectors now, in education, in governance, and most recently in transport. So far we've conducted a number of research, our evidence-based research in Cambodia. We've also consulted with partner organizations in Philippines and Indonesia, as well as India and Bangladesh, to show that youth are very focused on, are very invested in contributing to green business and environmental management. So we're hoping to be involved in that TA further and lead to a youth-led approach to achieving better practice for environmental management in Asia and the Pacific. So just to finish off, I'd like to read out what our vision is at ADB Youth for Asia for environmental sustainability. So it's an empowered generation of young environmentalists influencing environmental policy and management and working with stakeholders and communities for the sustainable development of a climate-resilient Asia. So I think if we can reflect on the 3 objectives that I stated at the start of this presentation, so to understand how youth are affected by environmental sustainability and their environments, how ADB works on environmental sustainability development projects in the region, and how youth can contribute, we can see how youth could be empowered. We can work towards goals and projects and activities to show how youth can be involved, and we want to promote this idea of youth being the prime or most prominent development agents, the directors of the direct agents of change for this pressing sector. So I believe we can achieve this by harnessing the vision, the energy, the creativity, and the passion of Asian youth. And I believe that by partnering with ADB, civil society, the private sector, and a number of other key stakeholders, we can help achieve the environmental sustainable development goals for Agenda 2030. And I know that personally I want to be part of achieving that goal, or those goals, and I know that everyone in this room also wants to be part of those goals. So I would encourage you guys, if you're not already doing it, to try and think about some small ways in which you can act to influence or affect environmental sustainability for the better in your communities. And I wish you all the best of luck for this. So thank you very much.